Hello, this will be the last video for about at least over a month. I have to get new materials out of the bank from a flash drive, and I'll do that once it warms up. But in the meantime, this final flow chart will suffice as number 23. And as we see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, same on the other side. The flow chart grows and measured in billions of light years. The entire field, the entire chart, is charged by two curvatures of the universe. It is the two curvatures in their interference patterns that creates charge. Anything that moves in the universe, motion, has charge, and this is why and where it comes from. So if you review the past videos, you'll understand all of this much more. So all of this is increasing. So we have things like potential and kinetic charge grows to infinite complexity, as we see way up here. And the elementals are existent within us in a form we could use as allegory, the sacred geometries. So elemental cautious chains, they grow as well upward. We have in this field a quantum yarn. It's like interwoven curvatures, like yarn, like embroidery, increasing with greater and greater complexities as we enter the perhaps hundreds of billions of light years of dimension. So distance times dimension, the greater the distance, the greater the potential of the depth of dimension. So we start off with our chakras, again being represented here as sacred geometries, growing and growing in complexities. The geometries in ad infinitum, growing complexity as multi-folding infinity. So infinity folds backward on itself, folding in, as we see here from this line. It curls and folds back, curls and folds back, curls and folds back, and folds back and folds back and back and back and back. Zillions and zillions of googles of time into big bundles right there, into greater and greater dimensions. So space folding back on itself in loops, again, folding back. And this, of course, leads to the torus and torsion field. That is, that the universe and everything in it is in a torus and a torsion field. So those are the results of the curvatures. As we see in complexities, we see that the neuron, the metabolism and energy increases within the neuron. The energy flows through in there. We have the elemental forces of the earth, air, water, and fire within us. We see the chains of DNA intertwined in elementals. Again, it's interwoven into the very atomic structures. And we see that in every cell we have this ball of yarn that I was speaking of. That is what creates cells. Our cells, like all cells of all life on Earth, is a form of these interfolding torsion fields. And they result in DNA replication, DNA complexities, multifolding infinities, representative of our auras. Dormant DNA is the repetition of this yarn within us. It keeps folding in and in and in, creating more and more dormant DNA. There's a nice little stick man there. And the pineal gland is the grand charger, the grand perception amplifier, the projector. And of course, DNA complexities enter and build the chromosomes through mitosis. And again, we have in the whole system here fields of dimension fold infinitely entwining DNA. Now, as a great example of all of this is that the solar system is 5 billion kilometers long. The DNA within all of us is 67 billion miles long, with 5 feet of DNA in each cell. So we can see how the length and the distance of depth and spatial forces can create very massive forms of life. And the example of these two forces, these two energies merging together, can be found within the zodiac. The zodiac moves in one direction in the sky, and the houses on Earth move in a counterclockwise direction. These intertwining interference patterns grow with tremendous distances, as again we find that the constellations, the 12 constellations of the zodiac, each are thousands of light years away. And so you add all that up and it begins to build extensive forces. And all of these first emanate within the astral and move their way into the more physical realm. Okay, so I think that covers this last little bit example. Again, I go back to the other videos to understand more of these spatial intelligence. But I call this a mini masterclass, I guess, more of as a summary than anything else. And I'll be getting further into better demonstrations of all this in the future with more illustrations. This will do for now for the next maybe 5 weeks or so. So enjoy, learn, comprehend, contemplate, remote view all this to see what you can find. Maybe you can find things in remote viewing or astral projection that may give even more sense to all of this. And like I said, these were all channeled down to me over the decades in piecemeal. And their basic ideal so far has been the powers of space, and that has come mostly from many of the gray species, how they see the universe, and to show us also that from the higher alien beings, the Pleiadians and so forth, that how complex the universe of distance is in all of us, and that these forces are incredibly complex and are woven back down into us. Okay, so the energies are all placed into little units or pockets of information and fed into the neurons, and the neurons grow from there. Alright, so thank you very much. Last video for a while, but not to worry, I shall return. Thank you very much for watching all my videos. And I suppose I should say, if you like it, subscribe, I guess. And everybody else is always talking about it, so I guess I might as well mention it again. Alright, take care. See you in the next one.